Hi everyone, John Ricky. Hope you guys are doing good. I want to talk about vibe coding and what I'm going through. It's the ninth week I've been working on my AI application, and today it's been pretty tough, pretty frustrating trying to work out bugs. And I notice most of the time that's what I'm doing, and I was thinking to myself like, do other people go through the same things that I go through with vibe coding, or the coders themselves, the software engineers? And I did some research, and there's a joke that 90% or more of your work is actually trying to fix bugs, trying to make something work, the logistics side of it or the technical side of it. And really, as an artist, as a creator, I look forward to building the AI brain, the AI thinking, the AI predictive analysis, the pattern recognitions, have it look and study various business analysis or contracts or contract law or psychology or behavior science, and all of these things that we need to make a decision in business, especially what I'm trying to do with founders who are creators, the builders, the inventors. These are your building entrepreneurs, these are your artists. And many of them, they lose control of their intellectual property or their product. So my goal is to train and develop an AI that's a niche towards this market to protect people like me, because I myself made mistakes in my decision making, and a lot of it is psychology. A lot of it is really securing yourself, no matter what, no matter who you're working with, no matter how rushed you feel in your product being put out there, your art being put out there. Slow down. We make the worst decisions when we rush. We make the worst decisions when we're emotional, excited, stressed. We make the worst decisions as humans, even when you try to analyze a person or the incoming partner that says and promises all these great things for you. The deal, the deal looks so good that you push it forward and not go over certain risks. You need to mitigate the risk, and that's what I learned. And humans think we can make good decisions. No, we need AI to help us make good decisions. AI is, as you found out in other areas of the market, is better at predicting than we are. We get too emotional. We get too caught up in our own mind, in our own psychology, in, like I said, in rushing a deal. Maybe we're focusing too much on the upside, or sometimes we're focusing too much on the downside. But there has to be a balance, and what AI is trying to do is help you make better predictions. The judgment still is with us as humans. We still got to decide, is the benefit outweighing the risk for that decision? Good example is in credit reports for banks. They have AI working for them now to make predictions on who could be abusing the credit system with credit cards. So they'll stop your card before telling you. And the risk is upsetting the client. But the other risk is, if they allow the transaction to go through, they may lose a lot of money and then not be able to recover it. So the prediction models of AI is getting so good where a higher chance of them stopping that payment is worth it, worth the risk of losing a client to another credit card company. So I'm trying to create that system for entrepreneurs and artists. And that's very difficult because human interaction and human behavior and psychology and philosophy, in addition to the law, the business analysis, the equity, the profit sharing, the intellectual property protection, the laws for intellectual property, the laws for corporate law, structure for voting, and the structure for decision making, the movement of investments, investment power, investment voting, investment decision making or not, silent or not. These are all moving parts with everything. And the frustrating thing for me is I spent 9 weeks on working on building the frame. I want to get into the brain, not the frame. Okay, I'm not an engineer. Maybe that's why I'm not excited about creating the frame of the software program or the application or the AI's user interface for the user. It's so important. It is very important, and that's the part of the engineer, and that's the part where I need to have more patience, because I was not trained in the role of an engineer. I was trained to be a lawyer. I was trained to be an artist and an entrepreneur in the creative side. Like, I love writing screenplays. I love creating up with world building. I love creating brands or creating the message for marketing. I love the strategy and the analysis of putting together companies, the reasoning behind it, or moving in funds, and the purpose and the mission of the company. Yeah, okay, contracts has logistics and details as well. And maybe that's why contracts is probably the lower end of my favorite work, but it's so important. It's so important. But the reason why I think contracts is still fun, because a lot of contract language also incorporates the company's mission, the company's strategy, the partner's mission, the partner's strategy. And that's where I want to go with this AI thing. I want to get into the AI's brain, the AI's prediction model. I want to get into pattern recognition. I want it to learn mistakes that human makes, the real-time decision-making issues that humans have, the personalities and the psychology and the philosophy and the behaviors of humans. I wanted to understand that more. That is a big problem right now. We're so far away from that. A lot of the AI is great at productivity, but the prediction area of AI is where it's heading. Look at how it's predicting our behaviors in buying. Look how Amazon's warehouses are worked on based off predicting on human behavior in buying. Supply and demand is predicted upon our behavior, so that the inventory is not staying in the warehouse that long, so that the AI and all those robots can move based off of the AI's predictions on our shopping behaviors. So that's where it's heading, but it's a system that gets more difficult the more judgment is involved. What I mean by judgment, like, there's a movie about an AI robot choosing to save a human adult before the child because the chance of survival for the child was terrible. But in human judgment, would we have chosen the child or the adult based off of survivability? Maybe the human might use judgment to save the child despite the chances of her dying higher than the adult, right? But the chances of you going for the child that has a less chance of survival could end up with 2 humans dead. Like, you know what I mean? That's what the AI has to decide on. But should humans continue that judgment call, or should we give the AI that judgment call? It's very, very tough question. With life and debt, that's a very tough question if we're moving AI towards that realm. But for business, I want to leave that judgment up to humans. We'll give you the stats, the pattern recognition, the data of the risk involved. But you as the human will have to make that judgment call. You as an entrepreneur, as an artist, will have to make that judgment call on whether you want to go forward on this deal or not, whether you want to work with that human incoming partner or not, or incoming investor or not, whether you can handle that person's personality or not. These are all things that we got to think about, because choosing a business partner is like choosing a marriage partner. It can be very stressful. It can ruin your health. You can die from a heart attack. Is it worth that stress? I argue, for me at least, I want a business partner that I enjoy working with. I want business deals that apply as best as possible in a fair manner. And what I mean in a fair manner is, a lot of artists that create art lose control of their art to a salesperson that comes in and takes over, to a manager that takes advantage of the finances and the art. Same thing with entrepreneurs, the builders, the building entrepreneurs that create the product. The sales entrepreneurs take advantage of some of the builders to a point where the builder loses control of the product, the intellectual property that he or she developed. And it's a sad story. You see it so often in movies, in books. But can we create a fair capitalist system? And yes, I do believe so. Now with AI, artists and entrepreneurial builders, inventors, can work with AI to create the product without much interference from other humans. It's come to that point. And I'm trying to create a system where capitalist is more fair towards the more hardworking human building the product, building the intellectual property. So that's where I'm heading at with my product right here, with my AI app, with my intelligence and prediction and pattern recognition and analytical, and combining many domains in analyzing a deal and analyzing the person you're going to potentially partner with. I want to make sure that you have all the data, you have all the risk before you make that decision. Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, you're thinking about how this product could disrupt the market or create a whole new category in the market. Yes, it's very exciting, but at the same time, one bad decision can really, really hurt you. And it happened to me with a couple companies, and I'll be honest, and I will share it with you with this platform. And that's why I'm going to train the AI to not make you rush into a deal like I did, based off of pressure, based off of finance, based off of opportunity, the fear of missing out, all of these things. I want you to not make those mistakes like I did. And that's why I'm so gung-ho with this application. If the wrong people get in charge of AI and moving judgment towards an area that benefits them, then we're in deep trouble. All of us are in deep trouble. This is like politics at the greatest scale. This is power at the greatest scale, without countries or boundaries or borders or whatnot. We're talking about a free market being controlled at the highest level, manipulated at the highest level, and humans behind these systems that are manipulating the system towards their advantage. So that's why I feel we need to make sure that the system protects the people, the hardworking people, the creators, the inventors, the builders, the artists, the entrepreneurial innovators. Because without them, we don't have the product. We don't have the intellectual property. So I want to make sure these people, you, if you're the artist, you're the builder, you're the developer, you're the inventor, you're the creator, I want to make sure you're taken care of. I want to make sure that you don't lose control of your baby that you built. So with that in mind, I started off with my frustration with the engineering side of what I gotta do, but I gotta do stuff that I don't enjoy. And the engineering side of creating an AI application is something that I have to be patient with, so I can get towards the creative side of developing my product, my intellectual property. But I just want to share that with you because it's not as easy what some people say it is. Like a lot of the advertisements say, oh, I built an application in one day. I'm kind of curious to know what kind of application, because man, I wish I could build an application in one day, you know? I wish I could create an AI app in like days rather than months. But it's not the case for me. You know, it's hard. It's so hard. But anyways, I'll keep trying my best, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited because this product I really feel will benefit the future creators, inventors, builders, artists that create products that make the world go around. We don't have products, we don't have nothing to sell. We have nothing to market, we have nothing to brand. That's why I feel this is so critical. And the other area I'm working in is in the art world of storytelling with my filmmaker partners and my digital game partners, and I'm so excited working with them. I have those intellectual property, or what we call IPs, ready for these partnerships. So I'm so excited because I spent so much time, so many years, so many, I don't know how many hours I spent, but I spent so much time on these IP products, and they're ready, and they're in partnerships with great cinematographer directors, with great game developers, game directors, game business entrepreneurs. And I feel like I have the right business partners finally after my whole life. I had so many bad business partners, and that's why I'm creating this AI app. So many bad business partners that unfortunately, you know, they weren't the builders. They were the salespeople. They were the talkers, but not the doers. I want to protect the doers. So with that, guys, have a great day. Keep working hard on what you're building. I'm going to do the same. I hope to work with some of you or to help some of you in the future. And with that in mind, let's just keep staying positive and doing the best we can. Share love, be grateful, be kind, be compassionate, be empathetic. And with that in mind, never stop. Just keep going and doing your best in what you do. Okay? Take care. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.